the measures of central tendency. Measures of central tendency. You will remember these when we talk about them. But to start off, let's just do this, and I think we might have done this last year, but who knows, maybe they changed. When I ask your name, would you please tell me your shoe size, and if you don't know, just give me close to it. Just because I need some raw data. I just need some data, some numbers to track together. So let's start at the back here. Emily, what do you say? 11 to 6. Christian? 12. 12. Copy these down for me. Go, Savannah? 7. Michael? 8. This is working out well so far. Christine?
Shoe size. What's your shoe? I don't know my shoe size.
Say
Yes.
5.
Say 5. Just say 5.
Eli? 8. Ryan? Let's just go with 6. Halves. Alex?
9.
Oh, I'm getting up there to the 9 side there. Kels?
6.
6. Sam?
9.
9. Gary?
7.
7. Nick, what do you got for shoe size? Just give me.
8.
Grace?
4.
4. Peter?
7.
7.
8.
8. 7. Kelvin?
8.
8. Liz?
6.
6.
11.
There's an 11 in there.
9.
Carrie Ellison's 9. And Luke's?
10.
10. Not bad. Okay. As you look at those numbers there, it's just a bunch of jumbled data. Okay, it doesn't really, I mean, you might be able to pick out what happens the most or not the most, but there's a lot of numbers there. We need to organize it first. And probably the best way for us to do this is we're going to make a line plot. We've done line plots before, right? Somebody just say yes. Yes, we have.
Yes, we have.
And on our line plot, what's the smallest number we have? 6. Looks like we go from 6 to 12. So we're just, oh, I'm sorry, 4. 4,
And then 5.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I got all my range of numbers there, which is one of the measures of central tendency. Let's just write that down since we already talked about it. When you talk about central tendency, one of the things you talk about is the range of the numbers. And the range is the difference between the big and the small. So the biggest number I had was a 12. The smallest I had was a 4. So it has a range of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. From smallest to biggest. Okay? So here we go. I'm so nervous now. Arranging our numbers the way they go. I have a 6, so I put an X above the 6. I have a 12. I have a 7, an 8, a 5, an 8, a 6, a 9, a 6, a 9, a 7, 8, 4, 7, 8, 8, 6, 11, 9, and 10. Your line plot kind of look like that? Hopefully that's yours. I'm going to move this 8 out of the way. So it doesn't get in the way of my combos. We've done line plots before, right?
Yes.
Yes, no big deal. So, in our measures of central tendency, first we talked about the range. We also have what's called the mode. I know we've talked about these before, so this shouldn't be anything special. What is the mode? What is the mode take a hint from the first two letters there, it is, Michael?
8.
Well, it's the number that happens the most. Hashtag most. And if you look at all the numbers that we have, 8 is our mode because there are 5 8s and then there's 4. So the mode here is 8. If you'd have two numbers that would have the most, it's called bimodal. There's two of them, you'd write them both down. If no number appears the most, then it doesn't have a mode. It's just kind of whatever there. And then we have what's called the median. And the median means what, Kels? Is the middle number. Anybody have any idea how I find the middle number? How would I go about finding the number that falls in the middle? Alex?
You arrange them in these degrees.
Which I've already done, by the way.
And then you cross.
Oh, you start at opposite ends and cross off going each way? That's one way to do it. Alex says if you do this, and maybe you can do this and see what happens here. Start at the ends, cross off this, the next highest, the next lowest, this, 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 then this, 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 and I'm left with these two, which are both 8s. So the middle number has to be an 8. Now, I don't know if that's the way you do it. I don't know if I do that. How would another way to do it? I mean, that's one way, because basically Alex just strung all his numbers out at the end and just crossed off each one all the way on each opposite ends until it came down to what was left exactly in the middle. Not a bad way to do it. I don't know if it's the best way to do it. Another way to do it is, Grace?
Count how many total exits.
Count how many total numbers you were given, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I have 20 numbers all listed in a row. What's going to be in the middle of that? How many numbers do I have to go over to get to the middle of 20 numbers? 10. Actually, you have to go, it's between 10 and 11 over. So you would start here and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right here is the middle between 10 and 11. And again, since it's both 8s, we should probably write them out. Would it help if we wrote them out? Since it falls between two 8s, that means our middle number is an 8. By the way, if you have two middle numbers, you have to find their average. Okay. When you're asked for the median, you hope for an odd number of numbers. For example, let me give you just a whole different thing. What if I have 7, 8, 9, and 10? What is the median of those four numbers? Jacob?
9.
Nope. Okay, like I said, you hope for an odd bunch of numbers because there is no exact middle of these four. Right here's the middle. Okay, because there's 2 on this side and 2 on that side. If we did Alex's little thing, it would cross off, cross off, cross off, and there is no middle number. Well, when there's not a middle number exactly, what do you have to do? You take the 2 middle numbers and find their average. So if you take 8 plus 9 and add it together, you get 17, and divided by 2, you get 8.5. In other words, halfway between those two would be 8.5. Like I said, you always hope for an odd bunch of numbers because of this. 7, 8, 9, 10. What's the median of those 5 numbers? Because when you have an odd number, you do have a number that falls exactly in the middle. Peter, it is?
9.
Right, because there's 2 on either side of it. Using Alex's method, cross off 1 on this end, next one, and you end up with a 9 all by itself. So if they ask you for median, you're really hoping for an odd bunch because you got to do a little bit extra work if it's not. And then the last measure of central tendency, we don't have to talk much about because you're already doing it. It is the mean. Ladies and gentlemen, what is the mean of something? Mean is just another name for the average, you know. Would there be a quick way for me to find the average of these numbers? Because what do I have to do? I have to add them all together. Which might not be bad because we could do it like this. We could put these two together and get 9. I have 4 6s, that's 24. I have 3 7s, that's 21. I have what, 5 8s, that's 40. 3 9s is 27. 10 plus 11 plus a 12, 33. 33 plus 27, 60. 60 plus 40, 100. 121, and 9 is 130. 130 and 24 is, look at that. 154 divided by what? 20? Did I say there was 20? I think it was. And that's going to give me what? 7, 14, 140. Is it 7.7? Does that make sense? 7 somewhere right about here. Oh, voila. Unfortunately, we probably have to talk a little bit about a histogram. Does it ask us about a histogram? Do we really need to talk about histogram? Yeah, I don't see it. Let's see what they would ask you about it. I suppose, let's talk about histograms just quickly here. I'll do it real fast. Under histograms, we'll just use what we got here. Usually we use histograms when we talk about a range of numbers. In other words, I wouldn't probably use a histogram with what I have here, but I might do it like this. Let's say I changed and I made a table here, and I said, I made a table here of still shoe sizes, and I said, how many kids have a shoe size between 4 and 6, between 7 and 9, and between 10 to 12. How many kids were there that had shoe sizes between 4, 5, and 6? How many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people did. How many people had shoe sizes between 7 and 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then how many people had sizes 10 through 12? 3. Now this isn't a histogram. This gets you close to the histogram. A histogram just takes this table and turns it on end so that it looks like this. Okay. Here is my range from 4 to 6, and I make a bar graph out of it. I had 6 people. Let's go here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 people. 6 people had the 4 to 6 range. How many people had the 7 to 9 range? 11, which means I gotta do what? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Color that in all the way up to 11. Sorry, messed up. And then the last one is my 10 to 12 range, which is just a fiddly 3 people. Now the thing about a histogram is there's no spaces between the bars in the graph. It's very similar to a bar graph, but there's no spaces between them. No spaces between them. So you look at it and it looks a little like that. You probably would see, there probably would be these little lines that you would see. I mean, you probably have this line that goes straight up like this. But a histogram just, it's like a bar graph except there's no spaces and it talks about intervals and ranges between something. A little like if I was given a class report about kids who got A's, B's, C's, and D's. You know, A's go from what? what is an A? 95 to 100?
No, 96.
I did 95.
95 is an A minus, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then 85 to 94 is the B range and that sort of stuff. Perfect. All right, youngins. Life is good. You all are experts now on measuring